Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the last big match of the year here at the Columbia XP Studios. Marine King got a haircut, and he's looking pretty good. I really like it, man. I'm here with Moonglade, by the way. This is Wolf and Moonglade today.
Hey, man. Yeah, he's looking actually really good. No crazy dyed hair this time.
So they're saying it's been a long time since we've seen you in a televised match. How have you been doing? And he's just said he's been taking a long rest these days. And just asking, you know, were you looking forward to coming back into this tournament? And he said, like, yeah, of course he was, and his group was pretty tough. And he actually thinks that he can, you know, beat stats. He watched a lot of his VODs.
2천만 원이 걸려 있고 거기다가 결승이 야외 나가잖아요.
So I almost just gave up.
거. 사실 뭐 16강 올라왔지만 우승은 전혀 생각하지 않고 있고요.
He said the finals are actually going to be in a really great venue.
경기력만 좋았으면 좋겠어요.
네, 멋진 경기 한번 기대하겠습니다. 자, 옆에 김준호 선수도 있네요.
And of course, he's saying he's not that greedy, but he's going to try his best today. Now we're going to hear from Hero, CJ Entis.
관광 잘하고 왔습니다.
How was BlizzCon?
네네.
예, 그 헐리우드도 구경하고.
He had a really great
저희도 잘
trip.
압니다. 가서 지금 같이 따라가 본 적이 있기 때문에 이번 시즌 욕심 날 것 같은데요.
Ask him about it.
네, 일단 한국에서 하는 개인 리그는 다 지금 욕심이 엄청난 상태고 다시 온.
He really wants to win an individual league in Korea. In Korea especially, he says.
오늘 조는 어때요?
오늘 조요?
How do you feel about the group today?
진짜 힘들겠구나 생각은 했는데 제가 테란전에 또
요새 자신 있어
하다 보니까 투테란 만족스러운 것 같아요.
But he's pretty confident against Terrence.
만족스러운가요?
So he's not really feeling too much of a complaint.
정훈이요?
예.
And asking about Marine King, how he feels about him as an opponent.
예, 알겠습니다. 오늘 재밌는 경기 기대하겠습니다. 옆에 김대엽
Seems
선수에게
like he's
마이크 한번
feeling pretty good
넘겨주시고요.
about it.
김대엽 2004년 전성기였죠?
Now we'll be hearing from stats.
이제 전성기 끝나는 거 아니죠?
아, 지금부터 시작이죠.
예, 오늘 조는 어때요?
Seems like 2014 is like your heyday, referring to his victory in WECG. How do you feel about your group today? Says he
이정훈
feels it's
선수
pretty tough.
VOD 다 보고 왔대요. 김대엽 선수는 이정훈 선수 경기
He's
보고
emptying his
오셨어요?
mind.
한 6개월 전 걸 보고 왔는데
이거 팬티 이전 거 보고
찾아봐도 없더라고요.
6개월 전 거. 그때 보니까 어때요? 잘했죠? 이정훈 선수.
He says you've checked. Marine King said you checked all your VODs. Have you been checking his? And he said, like, yeah, from like 6 months ago.
표정인데요, 김대엽 선수?
잘 막은.
You look pretty comfortable today.
그렇군요. 그럼 멋진 경기 기대하겠습니다. 자,
네, 감사합니다.
네, 옆에 이신영
I think he
선수.
said he felt a lot. He was thinking a lot about his fitness.
우승자 겸 저 미국 가서 관광.
To conclude a little short interview here, we'll be hearing from Innovation.
좀 아쉬움이 좀 많이 남았을 텐데 어떠세요?
네,
So you had a lot of fun at BlizzCon, right? And you had a pretty fun tournament.
잘하는 선수한테 져가지고 그냥.
He said he was actually disappointed with his results,
그 오늘은 그럼 지난 시즌
but his
우승자다
opponents
보니까
were really
무난하게
tough,
올라가야
so
될
he
것
couldn't
같은데
be
어떠세요?
helped.
오늘 조가 근데 너무 어려워가지고 저는 솔직히 마음을 좀 비우고
My
왔어요.
group seams really difficult,
그렇죠.
so I've also
이정훈
just been
선수
trying to empty
생각이
my mind,
위협적이죠.
get prepared for this.
이정훈 선수.
네, 제가 태태전.
What do you think about Marine King? Of course, the big talk of the town.
이정훈 선수가 되게 예선에서 잘하는
Recently, I've been
선수들을
actually pretty
많이
weak in the
꺾고
TVT
왔다고 해가지고
matchup.
좀 또 스타일도 잘 모르고 해서
And he doesn't really know Marine
불안하긴 해.
King's style, and it's hard to find his
끝으로
VODs.
이번 시즌 임하는 각오 한 말씀 들어보겠습니다.
이번 시즌
That's the reason why he thinks playing
원래
against Marine King
8강인
might
줄
be a bit
알았는데
tough.
16강부터 이렇게 너무 강한 조에 속하게 돼가지고 그래도 또
He actually thought the HOT6 Cup was an 8-player tournament, but it's actually, of course, starting in the round of 16, so he says it's a long way to go.
이거 선수를 만나보니까 재밌는데요.
네, 근데 뭐 가장 최근에 우승을 했던
He's gonna try to go, of course, as far as he can.
그게 A조라 선수들이.
And I think that might conclude our interview, Moonglade.
Very interesting interviews there.
개막전 경기로 다시 찾아오겠습니다.
So we'll be seeing these players in just a little bit. But for now, we're gonna watch a little. it's time for that HOT6 Cup. You guys are waiting for it for a while. A lot of you guys have been voting, of course, for some of these players. Other players coming from previous past victories, as well as, of course, our qualifier. Moonglade, this is your first time casting on the GOM stage. How do you feel?
I feel so excited, man. I've always wanted to be up here since I got to Korea, and I mean, I grew up on Starcraft 2 here. I watched Taste of Ro16 do all the casting here, and oh, it's so exciting to be here, man. We have such a great tournament to cast.
It certainly is going to be awesome. I'm really excited to get to commentate this one with you, as, of course, you've got a lot of pro gaming experience. You, of course,
I've actually played here before.
You played here before?
I played in Code 8 here once upon a time. I got wrecked, but I still did it.
Yeah, once upon a time, man. This guy right here, Korean Grandmaster,
oh, yeah.
Playing all the time. Really top-level Zerg. Unfortunately, not too many Zergs in this tournament. Only two.
Only two. Sulky and Sue. I mean, two of the best in career, except for Life. It's a shame you didn't make it in, but no, we got a lot to expect from these two players. Hopefully, Sue is in good form.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping Sue's going to do a lot better than he did at BlizzCon. I was a little bit disappointed with his performance over there.
Yeah, really unexpected. But I mean, Life really unexpected as well if we go back to there.
Yeah, and you know, going into dark horses of this tournament, Marine King is one of them.
He's the mystery man.
Yeah.
He's the guy that no one has any idea about. As we saw downstairs in the interviews beforehand, no one has really any idea where this guy is at. He did qualify through the qualifier.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that is something he's obviously in pretty decent form to go that far, beating players like Biel, beating Maru.
Absolutely.
Which could actually have some relevance in today if he ends up playing against Innovation.
Yeah, I almost wonder, you know, did people not take him very seriously?
Maybe. I definitely could be it.
So taking a look down here, just for those of you guys in Seoul, in Korea, if you come down to the studio, you can still get a coin for attending the studio, as well as 2 coins for going to, you know, going and putting a cheerful up, getting that on camera. But now you can actually go ahead and bet those coins. You can put a wager down to see who's going to advance to the round of 8, and you might be able to, you know,
so cool.
Make a ton of coins off that.
Yeah, I actually want to get in on this. I want to get my coins. Do we get coins?
Yeah, we got to go down and collect those, man. We're here at the studio, so we've already got one.
Oh, excellent.
I don't know how we're going to be able to get a cheerful on camera, but
we'll do something. We'll do something.
Well, as you can see here, guys, here's the format. Round of 16 is in 4 groups, dual tournament, a.k.a. Codesk format, a best of 3s. The round of 8 is going to be in best of 5s. Now, all of this, the round of 16 and the round of 8 will be here in the studio in Samsung. However, the final will be taken in a best of 7 in the Dongdaemun Design Plaza. It's going to be in the Aleem first building. But both the round of 4 and final will be played on the same day, and it's going to be sick. And don't forget, not only do we have the money down there, which is about 20,000 USD and 8,000 USD, but there's a lot of WCS points on the line here as well going into next year. That was something that was recently announced.
That is very interesting, and yeah, it really throws a whole other level into this tournament. They have to win if they want to get to BlizzCon next year.
Yeah, I mean, this is huge. This is so many points on line. 750, but 500. That's 1,250 points on the line right there for top 2 players. That is going to put you into a huge lead going into next year. It's never been heard of before.
Absolutely.
Now, taking a look at our schedules here, you can see we're going to have 4 days of HOT6 Cup this week, Tuesday to Friday. They'll be taking a week break, actually, so the players can get ready for that round of 8. We're going to have 2 days of the round of 8 on the 2nd and 3rd, and then that round of 4 and finals will be on Sunday, the 7th. So if you're planning a trip to Korea, could be the time to be here.
That definitely would be the time to be here, though it is a little cold, Wolf, so I don't know.
That's true. It's pretty cold. You might feel more comfortable from watching at the comfort of your house. Let's take a look at these sick groups. All right, 4-seeded players. Innovation and Sue, plus Classic and Zest, 4 top-tier players right there. And of course, our our players that we're looking at right here, 2 of them also were seeded from the fan vote. That's Flash and Parting in Group C and D respectively. So you guys voted for these guys, and they're here.
Yeah, and they've had a very interesting tournament very recently at Home Story Cup, getting top 2. So they've got a lot of hype behind them, and they're playing very well at the moment. So.
Absolutely. I'm hoping we get to see them play against each other.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic.
Which group is your favorite?
Well, I am a big fan of Group B, to be honest, because it does have Sue. But we're going to have to wait and see how Sue's going to be playing in that group. Me, myself, being a Zerg player and a Zerg fan in general. But, I mean, even Group A is just amazing today. Starting off with Innovation and Hero, like 2 WCS finalists. It's absolutely insane.
It is insane, Moonglade, and I can't even pick one. I want to lean towards today, but it's too hard to pick. Don't make me do it.
I won't make you do it, Wolf. Don't worry.
All right, Innovation. Now appearing again in his SK Telecom jersey. Having some sick records here, as you can see in offline tournaments in 2014. He's above 60% not only in matches, but also in sets. And of course, he was the HOT6 GSL Season 3 champion. He also made it to the round of 4 in DreamHack's Bucharest and got to the round of 8 at BlizzCon.
Very recently, yeah. And I mean, that loss was to Tasia, which is a TBT, obviously. So we'll have to wait and see if that's going to come into play today. Innovation's TBT, I think, probably his weakest matchup.
Yeah.
His TBZ is definitely his strongest, but yeah, if he drops this game, he might actually have to come up against Marine King in the loser bracket, which could just change everything.
Very high chance of that. I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, even Innovation himself said in that interview earlier that he feels Terran versus Terran is his weakest matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's going to be interesting as well because he is playing up against Hero, and his TVP is very strong. He loves those SCV all-ins, but at the same time, looking from Hero's perspective, he has very strong PvT as well.
He absolutely does.
We've seen him do so well in Pro League with his PvT, especially on King's Jump Station. I think that's his favorite map of all. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how this match is going to go. I think it could go either way, actually.
It really could. It absolutely could. Well, let's talk a little bit about Hero. Not only did he trim his bangs a little bit, but he's got a sick record here. 68% flat in matches, 64.29 in sets. You can tell this guy was a runner-up from IEM Season 8 World Championship. He lost, of course, to SOS in that epic best of 7.
That tragic best of 7. No one could forget, absolutely. And looking at this guy's statistics as well, his PvP is not his best, and he's up against a terrifying PvPer in this group.
Absolutely.
With Stats is insane, man.
And don't forget that even if he advances out of this group, there's a lot more Protoss to come.
Oh, so many Protoss in this tournament. Actually, we haven't even mentioned that yet, Will.
Yeah.
This is like the best Protoss of career in this tournament.
Absolutely, man. Super stacked Protoss tournament. A few Terrans and just 2 Zergs littered in as well.
That's the standard of today's tournaments, I feel.
All right, what's the first map? Catalina for this Terran versus Protoss. I can bet Innovation's going to be feeling okay about that.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think he'd be very confident on this map.
Right, now of course this is going to be Code S format, so loser will pick from here going to the rest of the matches. As far as I know, that's what I was told, so whoever ends up losing this match will have that second pick, but the winner will have the advantage because they'll have the final map pick as well.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, I kind of definitely feel Innovation coming into this has the advantage. Good map for SCV pulls.
Yeah.
I mean, great for dropping as well, a lot of ledges. Good for Blink Stalkers as well, which we know Hero loves to do.
Yes, he
just
does.
About every matchup you can. So we're really going to have to wait and see how these guys are going to set the tempo.
Well, the winner here will certainly set that tempo. Looks like the players are in the lobby and ready. You can see Hero is adjusting his monitor, making sure his settings are A-OK here, going into such an important match. So much on the line here. Pride, this is the last big tournament for Korea. All the money and all those WCS points especially. Both these guys are at BlizzCon this year. They want to go again next year.
They want to go back. They want to win next year.
Yes, they do. They want to get that early lead. And a lot of pride on the line here. I really feel it. All right, let's go into game number 1 here on Catalina. Nine o'clock position in the red. The Terran player is
SK Telecom T1 Innovation.
Never forget this guy.
Never forget Bogus.
Never. Looking very focused here. And of course, his opponent to the top right in blue for CJ Entis.
CJ Entis Hero.
I guess it's more of a 12:30 position than a top right.
12:30, nearly 1-ish, I guess, Wolf.
Yeah, as top right as it gets on this map.
Let's go. Don't get too technical on this on these guys. All right.
All right.
All right. But yeah, it is a 3-player map, so it's very easy to scout on this map.
Yes, it is.
No shenanigans just yet, though.
Yeah, you can get that early scout off, find out what your opponent's doing, and gonna see a gateway opening as well as a barracks here. So no early expand so far. Do see a gas taken. The Innovation style in this matchup generally, tends to lean towards macro and early scout with the Reaper. Very rarely ever see this guy do a Widow Mine drop. No TY tank proxies.
None of that craziness, especially on this map. I'd be very surprised if we see anything but a Reaper opening, which it looks like it is with that gas. I mean, it is such a great map for Reapers because there is a huge backdoor into the base of every main.
Yeah.
Which it just simply it makes sense. Like such easy scouting. And from Innovation's position, he also has a great drop route to Hero's main base.
This is true. And that's definitely something we're going to have to keep in mind once we get into the mid-game.
Absolutely. And I mean, we all know Innovation will definitely want to go for that macro-oriented style. He will want to go for that SCV pull if he has the chance.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is all about doing damage early. If you can harass, if you can cause the Protoss to kind of react and commit to too many gateway units early on, it gives you more of a timing to do this SCV pull when there's simply too many Vikings, not enough Colossi, no Storm. It's that perfect timing that the Terrans try to go for.
Right. You know, you just get into the Protoss' tempo a little bit with that early pressure. And, you know, oftentimes Innovation just sees blood in the water. He basically just says, okay, I notice your Storm is a bit late. Or you don't have enough units here. You know, your Colossus count is too low. And he just goes for it. He says, oh, you went double forge and you're trying to get Colossi out. You don't have that many gateways. I'm going to go for it right now. He's definitely able to assess the situation and very easily punish. He's one of the best players when it comes to hitting that timing.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And, I mean, thinking back to recent tournament results, we did see Hero play against a Terran not too long ago in WECG. He played against, I believe it was Byung, and he did 2-0 him pretty convincingly with some nice blink openings.
Yeah.
And, we kind of saw a new kind of style from him. I know, like, back in Pro League, which was a little while ago, he did like to go for, like, the 2 forge, 3 base kind of safe. Kind of, yeah, very upgrade-oriented with just simply Colossi and just overwhelming with a lot of charge lots as well as the Colossi. Since then, it's obviously changed a bit. The meta's kind of shifted a little bit. And he is trying new stuff, so it's going to be very interesting to see what we have today.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned earlier about the Blink Stalkers because that's definitely what he's been loving a lot in all matchups, really. And especially in PvP and in PvT. So I'm definitely thinking we're going to see a little bit of that. Now, what's interesting about Innovation's build is he's actually gone for a quick reactor on his barracks. So he's going to have 3 barracks, but he's going to have 4 Marines at a time being produced, a little bit, you know, faster than he had, you know, just gone for just triple barracks.
Yeah, he'll probably go for some Marine pressure at some point. I'm guessing one of those, it looks like one of those racks is going to get the Tech Lab, and maybe, possibly, I probably would be Stim at this point, at this late. And yeah, I do think we would see some sort of Marine timing kind of pressure and make sure that third base doesn't go up.
Sure, he's got to poke a little bit. You know, and maybe try to force out that overcharge. And that tempo that you were talking about earlier is so important. Going back to Hero, we talked about Blink Stalkers a lot. Guess what? It's already got Twilight Council down.
How about that? And there it is, Blink upgraded. So we'll have to see that how much he's going to commit to this. It isn't a bad Blink map either. It's I mean, it does have that big backdoor into the main base, and we can see a lot of harassment of that. And what we saw Hero do against Byung is that he went for about 6 Stalkers plus the Mothership, or it might have been an Observer, on King Sejong, and kind of just counterattack every time Terran left the base, so he could get that third base up safely, go for the Colossi and Templar, and, you know, kind of go for that counterattack style, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, sure. It's always that threat of the backstab with the Blink Stalkers that's so scary as a Terran. And, you know, at the beginning of it, you're, like, not sure if it's going to be an all-in even. You have to really be careful. Now, this Reaper Scout is really important. He's going to come in here. He wants to see the tech, and he will.
He will see everything.
Sees the Robo, actually. Does not see a Twilight Council, but that actually doesn't matter because, you know, seeing the Twilight Council when it's a Twilight Council alone is scary, but seeing a Robo with the Twilight lets you know this is kind of just a pressure build.
Yeah, exactly.
So he shouldn't overreact.
Yeah, he shouldn't overreact, but he knows that there's a tech building before that Robo. He doesn't know if it's going to be Stargate, or he doesn't know if it's going to be Blink Stalker, which is a pretty big deal. It could be anything from that. It could be Dark Templar, it could be an Oracle. He has to be careful, but he is going to move out and start applying that pressure.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because the Robo is late enough to where he's very sure there's something else back there.
Oh, but hold on a
God, the
second.
Mothership core is way out of position, and he loses it.
Whoa.
This will delay the push very slightly, but it's absolutely not worth it.
Well, the worst thing in the world is, like, if Innovation decided to commit to this, there's no photon overcharge whatsoever.
Right, and Stim is nearly complete. Had he actually continued to walk forward, this could have been a very disastrous situation.
The only thing, though, is because he doesn't know for sure what it's going to be. It could be Blink Stalkers on the map, and if that army gets caught out on the map, he loses everything.
Yeah.
And then the game completely flips once again.
Absolutely. Now, Blink is done, and that Reaper did barely just get the scout off of the Twilight Council, and I believe the Bay, I think he saw both. So he's just going to sit back. He now knows, okay, this might be a bit overzealous to run in there if Blink finishes. Yeah. He's going to sit back. He starts his third CC. He's going to have Medivacs out in just a second, and he starts his +1. And right now, Hero moving out with those Blink Stalkers, just going to do a little bit of checking, a little bit of poking.
Yeah. So we're seeing the same kind of style. 6-7 Stalkers out of the map, applying pressure with the possibility of counterattacking if the Terran so chooses to move out of the base. Ooh, nice little micro there, but loses a Stalker. But, you know, gets a couple of Marauders, so not the worst trade in the world.
Right. I mean, certainly less than ideal, but it was okay. Had he saved that Stalker, that would have been really good. It's still okay.
Impressed. Yeah, absolutely right.
So this is the kind of pressure that the Blink Stalkers can put on while the third base goes up. You know, ordinarily this would be kind of a greedy third base to take this early, but while there's Stalkers out, as a Terran, you always have to be careful. You always have to be ready and keep your units half in your main, half at your natural. That's why you can do these pickoffs. You might even try to snipe this Marauder. We'll see what he does with these Stalkers. He warps in a few more.
It could be risky here. And another thing to note is we have seen no upgrades whatsoever for Hero.
Yeah.
He's completely kind of banking on this style where he's going to be going for the counterattack here once again.
He blinks in because he sees those units move away, and that's a very exposed tech lab here. He may actually delay those shields, and in fact he does. Picks off a few more units here, forces a stim, and should be able to individually blink these Stalkers out. Loses another Stalker here, but I would say that was well worth it.
That was completely worth it, but he has to be careful of this counterattack. These counter drop here. I mean, he does have a Colossi in position, well, in the in the natural here, but not much else, so he could actually take some serious damage here.
Yeah, and he's very unaware of this drop. He has no idea it's coming. He's going to have to react very quickly here. Probe's already starting to fall here, and, you know, there's the overcharge. Meanwhile, he's going for a counterattack into the main, getting a ton of damage done there, and that overcharge isn't enough. Looks like he's actually just going to stick around. He realizes, wait a minute, you don't actually have enough units here. Tech Labs are getting sniped yet again, but will he lose that Nexus? It's looking very dangerous.
Very, very dangerous, but the Colossi and 3 Stalkers is simply enough. And while this is all happening, this counterattack that we've seen Hero do so much often is doing so much work. It's actually doing critical damage here.
Yeah, it's doing way too much damage, especially considering that Hero has a third base behind this that the Marine just saw. This looks like it may actually just be the end here for Innovation. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to recover from this.
I didn't know about this move either.
Yeah, that's a bit risky here. He's going to end up getting a lot of the Stalkers, but it's going to cost him medevacs and a few of his Marines. Stalkers blink away. He's still got that forward warping point, and I guarantee you he's not going to stop that pressure anytime soon.
Yeah, not at all. You know what? I regret saying this is a good map for Innovation because I forgot. I wasn't thinking about Blink Stalkers when I said that. And I mean, we are seeing perfect Blink Stalker control, perfect sort of counterattacking from Hero, which is doing so much work.
Yeah, I just don't think he really expected that type of heavy pressure, you know? He expected just a few Stalkers and he thought that phase was over, but Hero reminded him it certainly was not.
Oh, dodges one.
Yeah. This is a scary moment. He's transferring SCVs at the wrong time. Innovation, a bit of a rough spot here. Probably going to have to lift that third.
Yeah.
Hero definitely knows about it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. With those SCVs. And he's down 20 supply now, Innovation. He's not in a good place. He's going to have to abandon the third base. And from here, I mean, we have 3 Colossi and a ton of Stalkers, plus more Warpins coming in. I think Hero can actually just kill him right now.
Yeah, he probably can. There's no Vikings whatsoever. There's no bunkers even. He just needs to make sure he spreads his Colossi well. He actually just wants to poke and trade a little bit more. He might want to get a Warp and a Zealots to tank a little bit. And he's actually adding those Forges at home, which is the big telltale sign of like, okay, I'm just going to sit back and macro. I don't need to kill you now. I'm not going to take any unnecessary risks. Very Hero-like here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in complete control. And now Innovation's going to have to make something work, but he does see the Observer, even though he scanned it. A big, big mistake there.
Oh, he doesn't even get it!
Oh, everything is going wrong.
Yeah.
What a nightmare.
I think that's the moment where you see the Observer and you're like, oh, I can't drop even because now he knows, and you're just flustered.
It's just so messy right now, but, I mean, still, there's not enough Zealots in this lineup, or at least there are not enough Zealots in the front to take these hits.
He doesn't feel comfortable enough to go up the ramp. Even with 4 Colossi, they're all bunched up. They're not going to maximize their damage.
Yeah.
Can't go against that concave, but you can poke, you can siege.
Oh, you can poke for days against this, and it looks like he targeted his Stalker as well. But 4 more gateways in production, plus double upgrades now.
Oh god, that medevac is full.
Oh, these drops are just not working.
Widowmines here going to do nothing. GG.
Complete domination there by Hero. And
laying the smackdown, really.
Really laying it down. Catalina was his map after all, so Hero taking the lead now.
Well, what do you think Innovation's going to pick for map 2?
Oh man, I don't know. I guess a map where Blink Stalkers will not be that good would be a good start.
Yeah. I really just don't know what he would want to pick here because, I mean, if you pick a map like Deadwing where maybe Blink Stalkers are not really going to be that good, then you have to deal with late game Protoss, you deal with late game Hero.
Nimbus or something?
Yeah, Nimbus could be okay. Nimbus is pretty good for drops or
It's
Protoss.
good for drops. It gives Innovation more time to set up his War Machine, go into that mid game where he's more comfortable. Blink Stalkers are pretty much non-existent on that map, so I think if there's no vetoes in the system, that could be the map he goes to.
Yeah, I'm feeling a Nimbus pick as well. Thanks to HOT6, by the way, the sponsor here for the HOT6 Cup.
Oh yeah, delicious drink actually.
Absolutely great. Have a drink of it if you haven't tried it. If you get a chance, take a sip. Overgrowth. I was feeling like we might see this because it's good for the SCV pulls.
It is actually. You're very right. So it should be a much better map for Innovation at the very least.
Yeah, at least for his style. And it's not as good for Blink Stalkers as the previous map, in my opinion. So
yeah,
not a bad choice. You can see he's got a bit of a smirk on his face there. So I guess he's trying to get himself psyched up for this match.
He's not rattled. He's not rattled from that loss. He's ready now. He knows exactly what he has to do.
And for those of you guys turning in late, this is Code S format. So even if he loses here, he has another chance. But you don't want to be in that losers match, especially because he will most likely face Marine King there, and TBT is his worst matchup against an unpredictable opponent. I don't want to go there.
Never go there. I mean, he just came off beating Maru as well, Marine King. So
yeah,
who knows what to expect.
2-0, mind you.
It's absolutely insane. Innovation is no doubt worried about that.
Yeah. All right, map is loaded. Let's go into game number 2 here on Overgrowth. The HOT6 Cup, the last big match here for 2014. Down in the bottom left for SKT. This player is
SK Telecom T1 Innovation.
Drop that first map.
Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, man.
Too damn good.
Got blunked.
Got blunked. Dream pool, hashtag.
Up into the top right, his opponent for CJ.
CJ and Tooth Hero.
One of the most consistent Protosses we've got in our very vast Protoss lineup here.
Yeah, but never won a Korean tournament.
This is true, and that's what he said in his interview. He really wants to win a Korean individual league.
This could be it, but I mean, he's got a long way to go, and he's got a lot of dangerous opponents in this group alone.
Yeah, you know, I always find that Hero sometimes struggles in group stages. I think the deepest he's ever gone in the GSL was the round of 8, and you know that's I may be wrong, but I think the only time he's ever gotten out of both, you know, round of 32 and round of 16s in the GSL. It's a tough tournament, right? And this is of course very similar format to the GSL.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he's up. He really just has to win this game to put himself in a good position, because I feel like when he has to play stats, it's going to not look too good for Hero, because he has kind of a reputation for just losing to Casper Protosses more than anything else.
Yeah, that's absolutely the truth. No, I like this by Innovation. CC first, get the macro going. Yep. You know, get into your territory. Just get that up early. You know, with that, you're able to power up, get a large army out early, constantly pressure with that army. You know, he wasn't really able to capitalize on his early stim and his early bioforce last game.
Yeah, well, I mean, he got the Mothership Core, but then he was just nervous because he just never got the scout off that he always wanted with the Reaper. And obviously on this map, it's a lot harder to get that perfect Reaper scout off, because you kind of have to go through the natural to get to the main via Reaper jumping. So yeah, I can totally understand why he'd go for CC first here. I mean, the standard 2 racks follow up here, 4 gas. So
yeah,
very standard opening for him, and we saw the gateway opening once again for Hero.
That we do, and Zealot gets canceled here, drops that Nexus. We take a look at some of these stats down here for these two. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, of course, but look at Hero's win rate versus Terran.
That is an insane win rate.
That's pretty crazy. Anything above 50% is insanely good in Korea, but when it comes to 60%, you're looking awesome. But when it comes to 72%, it's like...
It's actually insane.
What?
It's actually, that shouldn't be a number. Like, how does he get this? He's just...
Somebody did the math wrong.
It must be a mistake, because that is simply too good.
But that just... Oh, look at this.
Oh, cheeky play here.
Did not expect that. I guess the probe went down to the watchtower, and he just totally missed it. The Nexus doesn't give a lot of vision, so he just did a little loop-de-loop around there.
No doubt, if Hero actually knew about it, he would have sent that Stalker in and just dealt with it by now.
And this is so good for Innovation, because one of the scariest things about going for CC first is you have a late Reaper, so it's hard to get in there and see that tech.
You have no Reaper, and you have to scan, or you have to find another way to get information. But if you have an SCV in the base, that is such an advantage.
Well, this Stalker could do some work, but that's what I love about this map. The map maker really making the micro the key here. That second tiering there, that little ramp, makes it so the Stalker can't pick away at those Marines forever. Good control there by Innovation to secure that high ground.
Yep.
And he's just going to wait until the tech timing to send that SCV in there and see what it is. We don't yet know what Hero has planned here. It could be a Stargate, it could be Oracles.
Indeed.
He's
haven't had a look at that SCV.
Oh, he's going in now. With that SCV, and it's going to be a fast third, but the SCV is not going to see that.
Oh, he's not. So this is actually this is perfect for Hero.
This could be terrible for Innovation, because now he may think it's a proxy Stargate. That's what I'd be thinking.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, where's the tech? It must be proxy Stargate. Absolutely.
Wow.
Let's see if he checks for it.
Hero making the right moves even when he doesn't know he's making the right moves.
Exactly. Really good luck here.
Absolutely insane. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was thinking of a proxy. It's either that or he's like assuming that it is going to be a fast third base.
Oh, 6 snipe! Poor little guy.
Oh man, that was ruthless. And?
All right, Mothership Courier to help out.
This is actually not enough Marines for this. And he's not even actually attacking with these.
Oh god, and he's got a Time Warp available as well. He could actually kill all of these.
I actually think Innovation's a little tilted at this point.
What is he? He's actually just going to fight this?
He's going to commit to this, and I think it's a bit of a mistake. Mothership Core can tank everything, and he's going to lose every Marine. Not going to scout the third base.
Oh, God, this is terrible. That Marine is just going to be steps away, but not going to happen. Now he has no idea what he's up against whatsoever.
Lost. Oh
why fight that? I think you may be correct. This could actually just be him tilting a little bit.
This is a bit unusual. I mean, like, he was just at BlizzCon, so maybe he's like a little under-practiced and maybe a little rusty. Maybe he just simply made a mistake and was move commanding his Marines and ran past Stalkers, knew they were all dead. So he just like, okay, I'll try trade hit points for lives.
Right. Now, this scan is really important because now he knows what's up. The Forge at this time of the Twilight Council can only mean one thing. It's got to be a fast third base. There's no sort of weird fast robo. You know, he would have seen it already. He would have seen observers coming across the map. He knows what this is now, but there's not anything he could do about it. It's like one of the scans that makes sense, but it's kind of a sad scan because you're like, oh, God, I'm really behind.
Yeah, it's an ugly scan at that. It's an ugly truth. He has just found out how behind he is economically. And, I mean, from here, I think he just has to do with timing. I think that's what he has planned because he doesn't have a third CC started. He has got nothing in the works for this, and he's got to deal with the Protoss, a base down.
Yeah. And not only is he a base down, he's got no stim to use yet. He's just now getting his medevacs out. Blink is coming along the way here pretty quick. With a few chronos on that, as well as a +1 army, he should be able to shut medevac drops down relatively easily. He didn't use the Time Warp on that Mothership Core, which means it has tons of energy to help defend. And now the Gateway Explosion is happening here. Hero's going to do almost like a parting-esque, and then by that I mean like 2012-esque, build up here where he's got a huge explosion of gateways after he gets a third base. And not only can he defend any pressure that comes his way, but might even be able to put a little bit of pressure on himself with all that economy he's got with that third base.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he goes undamaged for the next like few minutes, he will just massively build up an army. He's already got a fully saturated third base. He's not committing to any gas on that third base, which leads me to believe he will be going for a timing a little bit later. And, I mean, he does have to defend until then because he will find out that it is a two base versus a third base, three base, and Innovation has to make a move now.
Yep, and he's doing it. He would love to have that +1 in the combat shields, but I just don't think it's going to line up for him here. He's just got that stim.
Well, loses the Stalker.
All right, here's the big stim, but there's way too many force fields. He can't get near that army or he's going to get cut to shreds.
Yep.
Look at all those, each of them having at least 2 force fields. I think only one has 1 force field, and that one splits off from the group, but he wants to stay away from this. Blink's about to finish. And look at this, even setting up to deny a third, do some harassment there.
I mean, he is in such a commanding position from here, and Innovation, he's still on a timer here. He still has to make something work. There's simply no other way around it. No third base. He's all in at this point. He's got to kill that third base at the very least.
7 Stalkers just warped in. I think he might just try to deny, deflect an attack, and counterattack with that pylon and go for the kill. He's got a Robotics Bay coming up that could assist him, should things go a little bit rough for him here. But I think he's going to be totally fine. He's got so many Stalkers with the support of these sentries. No Zealots to tank, though. Good micro. This is a lot of bio.
Ooh, this is very, very close here. He has to be so careful with the Concave, and he's sniping the Nexus.
He's trying. Widowmine's here actually undetected, but the Hallucination tanks one. And look at that. He sees, even underneath the force field, he's able to see the second one.
And I think Innovation has realized he simply cannot make the attack happen. So he's going for that final third base, but man, it isn't late, and is he behind?
The Nexus kind of makes it difficult to fight here, but he did have the proper Concave, and this is an almost pure Stalker army, so it's difficult to engage while the Terran has that Concave. What I like about this third base from Innovation is he's not taking the obvious location, which means it's harder to harass. The pylon is out of position.
Yeah, it is harder to harass, I completely agree. But, I mean, it's just so late.
Yep.
I feel like we're going to see Hero make that massive army that he's been building up for quite some time here with such an economic advantage that he's just going to steamroll eventually. Unless we do see some actual damage happen.
Well, maybe this is the moment. I just don't know. There's just too many force fields here. If the Zealots can get to the front to do some tanking, he could take this fight straight up. He's got +2 armor.
Yeah, he should be pretty confident, but I think he's worried about these Widow Mines more than anything else. And plus, Colossus is almost out.
Yeah. That armor actually nearly completed. It's not quite done yet.
Very, very close. For the next fight, absolutely.
Yeah. If he has 2 Colossi with range and charge, he is just going to wipe the floor with any army that Invasion has at this point. It's just it's too far behind. It's too small.
We don't see too much of a population advantage yet.
Yeah.
Too much of a not much of a lead, but I think he's been teching so much, he's been upgrading so much that he will get there eventually.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to produce all the Colossi he'd like to because he's, like you said, spending so much on that tech.
Yep. And we're going to have to see Viking production pretty soon as well.
This is a massive army for Innovation. If you look at army size, he's actually up. Of course, his tech isn't as good, but there's no charge.
Oh,
that was a big blink here.
And okay, that was very ambitious and could have been suicidal, I mean, but with that Colossi, he should be able to take this fight pretty convincingly and pull back to the Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, he takes the fight, but it definitely could have been a much better, more patient fight. Looks like he wants to pick up a unit and blink, but loses 2 Stalkers instead.
He needs Zealots with this lineup. If he keeps going like this, he's going to trade very, very badly against Marauders.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 Marauder-Marine ratio right now. If you're fighting a mostly Marine army, Stalker Colossus will fight it, 10 days to Sunday, but if you have a composition that's half and half like this, so Marauder heavy, it becomes very difficult without Zealots to tank.
Yeah.
And he also cut Colossus production temporarily. He only has 2 right now.
Yeah, but he is producing from 2 Robos now, so he should be better. But now another big trade.
There go those Zealots. Those Zealots tanking up there at the front. And this is just so much damage output here from those Colossi. But will he break through? A few Vikings showing up to the fight. No, it's not quite enough. Even with this many medevacs, 9 medevacs here, not going to heal that army.
No way, no how. He's still very ambitious, sort of blink forwards here. Trading not the most cost efficiently, but he doesn't really have to at this point. 20 supply lead. No Vikings to kind of deal with these Colossi, and 2 more on the way.
You know what? I think maybe I don't know if he saw that 3rd base was here. Maybe he was thinking the whole time he was stuck on 2 bases. That's why he was overconfident. Maybe this is the first time he's seeing it. I don't know if that observer actually got to see that earlier, but
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he is in quite a heavy lead, so I can't blame him for kind of blinking forward like this. But
yeah, I mean,
you don't
now
want to throw away that lead either.
Right. I mean, now he's up 40 supply in the game. He's got Storm on the way, plus 3 armors about to finish. There's no contest here.
Oh, hang on a second. These Vikings doing a lot of damage. 2 Colossi should go down.
Those Zealots are going to clean everything up on their own, though.
Yeah, no hope.
The Commander ambitiously tries to land. I'm afraid that's not happening.
I think it's going to die in a second.
It's about to burn down.
And, yep, once again, Viking count gets reset. 2 more just popped out. And from here, I mean, I think it's just a formality.
Yeah.
Hero just got to clean things up.
And for you numbers guys at home, that army supply that was even for so long on the top right was mostly on medevacs for Innovation this whole time. No damage there. GG. Hero making it look easy. 2-0. Will advance to that winner's match.
Well, when you have that 70% win rate against Terran, I guess you have it for a reason, right? And we just saw it.
Yep. Well,
looking very, very strong.
A lot of people would pick him as a favorite to get out of the group in first place, but with Stats as his most likely opponent in the winner's match, anything could happen.
I think that's going to be the true test for Hero in this group. Yeah. Stats just coming off such great PvP wins in the WECG qualifier.
And also, yeah, he won that tournament, right?
Defeating Hero 3-2 in the finals, I believe.
He's Korea's representative. He's the highest seeded. But before we get into any PvPs, we are, of course, going to have to get into that match people are really excited about. The King of Marines has returned.
We get to see Marine King. It's been a long time.
It certainly has.
He's in a new team. He's got a new look. The hair has changed once again.
No glasses?
No glasses. I actually like that, actually. I was not a fan of the glasses. I actually had a big problem with it.
Well, I was all right with him. But, I like his new look better, though.
It's a much cleaner look.
Yeah.
It's a more professional look as well. Maybe the MVP coach was like, hey, you gotta smarten up. You gotta look good.
Smarten up.
You gotta smarten up.
No more pajama pants.
No more pajama pants. None of that. You're gonna look professional and you're gonna win some games.
Well, we'll see if he can do just that against Stats in his first match. Before that, though, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.